Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris. So, not sure if you can hear, I got a fan on the background because it's a little on the toastier side tonight. While I'm recording this, let me go ahead and get my timer started. Come on, start. There we go. Thank you. So, this part I think this part will probably be fairly similar to the last, but we'll see. We'll see. We do sort of need to make up this deficit of energy credits we currently have, but that's easy enough to make up. Just
Construction
give it
complete.
a little bit of time. Some more archaeological sites being discovered. For whatever that's worth. So let's see, we got the psi cores there, which are useful because that gives us just a straight +5 stability as well as +2 telepath jobs. And the telepath jobs decrease crime by quite a bit, so they're much more effective than enforcers in that regard. Although of course enforcers still have their uses in giving you planetary defense armies. They also give us quite a bit more to Unity, so use psi cores for
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
decreasing crime, and enforcers is just another way of getting soldier jobs. Though admittedly they're not actually the best at giving you soldier jobs. You're still better off with strongholds, which you can fill an entire planet with if you really want to. So yeah, let's go ahead and accept that. I'm kind of well, fleet command limit is useful. Yeah, go for the fleet command limit. So there's our Arcane Institute. I can go and build that wherever I want. I think I'm going to build it on Zempek. Admittedly, I can build multiple of these. It's limited to one per planet, but not one per empire, so yeah, you know, let's go ahead and build the Arcane Institute on Zempek. They're doing really good, comparatively speaking, to some of our other places. And what do I want for technology? So affinity is useful for the plus to immigration pool, which will increase pop growth, at least to some degree. And the finishing effect is also quite useful at resources from jobs of pops, increasing by 0.8% for each additional species beyond the first 2 an owned planet has. Although admittedly not many of my planets are particularly diverse in population, or species rather. But that does potentially have its uses. And again, the just pop growth from immigration pool is potentially useful. But I am thinking we are going to go for supremacy, although faith is also useful. That's useful for wars, and then also the finishing effect is nice for the influence. But it also unlocks the building House of Prayer, which also gives me even more influence production, although I'm limited to a single one of those within my empire. But that still has its uses. Huh. Got a couple of good choices here, honestly. But I think I'm still going to go for supremacy. That will give me ship upkeep decreases, fleet command limit, and build cost and build speed. Yeah, we're gonna go for supremacy. What got added to here? Looks like the minor administrative sanctions. I don't really care for that. You know what, actually I think I will. Well, I got enough power that I should be able to avoid having any serious issues as a result of any of those sanctions, and of course you just simply don't get any sanctions placed on you. Let's see, so the exploratory team has been sent out along a narrow path alongside the first outer ruins. This to hopefully avoid any surprises that may lie on the main path. It will take some time before they reach an alternative way into the ruins. Curious. Because everything is always just curious. Let's see, so... the game really wants me to uplift you, which... you don't have anything particularly useful. Well... you are a couple extra pops on a planet somewhere. What planet are you guys on again? Oh, right there, Suging. Yeah, you know what, screw it, I'll uplift you. 6 months, I can do that. Doesn't take any real effort or time. Okay, so the game does remember what I have set there when I load a save, but yeah, it does annoyingly every time a pop grows resets it to something else, which is annoying.
Construction complete.
Oh, there we go. The deficit's gone. That's useful. Okay, you're almost to where you need to go. Okay, I'm kind of lacking on alloy production, but that's kind of my fault.
Special project complete.
We'll do the second visit in just a bit. Let's upgrade that. So, second visit, where is this? Ah, still right there. Just go ahead and continue doing what you were doing. I didn't bother reading the thing, so whoops. There we go, almost got the Star Fortress, and we got some pirates, so... you go deal with the pirates, and of course that puts us back into a deficit, but that's fine. It's only 50 energy credits a month, which is basically nothing when you have a reserve of 46.
The lowly beasts were made to see the light.
There we go, we uplifted those guys. And we got the Star Fortress. Let's go ahead and get the advanced habitats. Yeah. And upgrade you, although that's going to take a while. See, there's one thing I wanted. Advanced space engineers. Ah, okay. The stasis chamber can wait. I want the advanced space engineers. Ah, no, damn it. Give me the advanced space engineers, and I want them moved up to the top just under the orbital agency. That'll benefit me quite a bit. You forget about the black site thing that you were building. What do we got here? Afterburners, don't really care. You go back home. Rocky start for those guys we just uplifted. For whatever that does. Got another... let's see, yes, let's see, so well, the Enfulan's Sacred Mandate provides a solid structure upon which to model their internal social order. It may not necessarily be what suits the uplifted Zashub best. Their sudden rise to becoming our intellectual equals robbed them of millennia of potential societal and cultural development. Perhaps as a result of this, the Zashub social order is in a state of extreme flux. One day the family unit is paramount, and the next day the community leaders are calling for a dissolution of all clan-like bonds. let's see. May they find themselves in each other. So they become more authoritarian, which is what we need more of course.
Construction complete.
Don't really need more egalitarians, thank you very much, game. And I know I'm basically just ignoring all the trade value because it's just not really worth going after right now.
System survey complete.
Wonderful, I don't really care for the debris game. Some issues have arisen on Suging as a result of these Shub populace's aversion to arms. A representative made a formal request for a clearly delineated demilitarized zone. Let's see, they must learn that the specter of war looms over us all. We never said that we were going to give them any real say.
Construction complete.
We'll check that out in just a moment. So, militarist. Okay, they're all militarists. I mean, that's fine with me. Although, you are quite heavily attracted towards spiritualists, which is also useful for us, of course. So that's fine with me if you want to go there. See, so science ship Alel's sensors are going wild with local transmission data. It appears something or someone on the planet is trying to communicate with us. Wait, sensor data is suggesting it's not someone on the planet that's trying to communicate, it's the planet itself. On screen. Small creatures in your metal ships, why have you come to see Xandar? I have not had visitors for ages. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to go for the whole fanatic spiritualist. We finally found the great and mighty one because we don't worship that. We solely use spiritualism as a method for solidifying leadership. So, who or what are you? There were once two of us, me and my friend. My friend, oh, how I miss her terribly. What happened to your friend? She was the most beautiful planet in the whole galaxy. We were happy together, just watching the stars shine. And then they came. They burned her. All that I lived for is now gone. All I wanted to do was to watch the stars with Meredith. All I do now is watch over her burned and boiling remains. The stars' shining lights no longer bring me happiness. Sorry. Oh, there's Meredith. I never really paid attention to this system well enough to realize that there was actually another planet in the system with a unique name. Yeah, that's fine. Who did this to you? An ancient and powerful empire. They called themselves the Children of the Shroud, and all they lived for was the suffering of others. All we wanted to do was watch the star, and they killed her. And for that, I ended them. All of them. All of them? Yes, all of them. I turned their planets against them. Slowly they suffocated. Slowly they were consumed alive. Slowly I made them feel the pain they brought on to me. See, so best to leave in peace. Perhaps it's best to study from a distance. You will make a fine weapon, Xandar. It's kinder to put you down right now, so we will. I'm gonna go for the perhaps it's best to study you from a distance. I don't really need presumably an admiral, or maybe you turn into a ship. I don't know, but I'm assuming you turn into an admiral. If I go for the fine weapon, but I don't know for certain on that. And I assume best to leave you in peace just means we end the event chain and we don't get anything for it. And this presumably either pisses him off or makes him happy because he thinks he can finally be with Meredith. I'm not quite sure. But now, Xandar the Living Planet, we would like to study you from a distance. Study me all you want, little ones. As long as you don't bother me, I warn you though, keep your distance. I am not to be taken lightly. We understand, Xandar. So we gain Xandar the Scientist. Or no, we don't. We gain this random Glostwerhenny as our immortal mad scientist. That's also fine with me, game. I can live with that. I'm going to toss them into the shield thing. Thank you very much. And you, go. Continue exploring.
Construction complete.
Because I could kind of use to get those shields just a little bit faster. And we're about to get the Doctrine Space Combat, which gives us some edicts, or an edict rather, for fleet supremacy and a little bit extra
new wisdom.
fleet command limit. Don't want extra habitability, that is useful, potentially. Or I can go for even more fleet command limit, which I can kind of live without right now. Or do I want to go for the... I'm going to go for the habitability. Between those choices, I think it's the most useful. And I don't need that extra food option. I really don't, guys. We're doing perfectly fine on food. Okay, tiny little guys here are shifting towards more militarist. That's interesting, but you guys do you. I'm a little surprised you just haven't been annexed, because there's literally no reason to leave you there. You don't even have a defensive pact to justify it. Either with your neighbor or somebody that your neighbor might be worried about. Though admittedly that's probably because your neighbor is in a federation with the Bosagish Empire. And the reality is Glostowerny block is not a particularly big threat either. So your probably best bet would be either me or the Skrek Coalition. And you would say no to me anyway.
System survey complete.
Yes, mostly because of distance. So if I could close the distance, you would be inclined to give me that. Or to become a protectorate of mine. Which I could actually make some use of.
System survey complete.
At least potentially. You're doing poorly over there, that's not surprising. You're, I would say, doing even worse, but that's also not surprising. You guys are all rookies when it comes to research. So it's kind of expected you're going to do crap at it. And eventually I should be able to build more exploration cruisers, but 3's enough for now. I just got to remember to periodically check my colonies and make sure that they're growing the right pop. Though I do hope eventually to have my habitats
the spirits have granted us new
produce
wisdom.
enough of our primary species that I can just kind of ship them off world to places that they're needed. Let's see. Do I want to get the gamma lasers? Yeah, I think I do. Because that'll get us on our way towards the particle lances, I believe. Well, I guess we can check the tech tree, because I've never really paid too much attention to the tech tree, but oh no. You only need X-ray lasers, apparently, to get particle lances. Gammas are literally not necessary, apparently. That's interesting, but okay. Yeah, they're actually at the same tier as particle lances, so they're not strictly necessary. There's something else that's maybe better. Let's see, so system energy grid is potentially useful if I have a system that is focused primarily or solely, well, yeah. If I have a system that produces a lot of energy, system energy grid is a potentially useful ability. Or star-based building to put there. Energy nexus is also useful, but our main issue is a lack of exotic gases. Let's go for that. It's a nice, quick, easy research. Oh, and let's upgrade the shields on all of our ships. Now the reality is when it comes to going to war with our neighbor, I only need a single fleet, I believe. I say that, but I don't quite know how big their actual military is, but I believe I'll only need a single fleet. We will upgrade the shields on our exploration cruisers, but we're not gonna actually go out of our way to give them the upgraded shields for the ones that are already out. We'll give them to them eventually, just not right now. Okay, are these all... Give you all of those. And then connect... No, I cannot get rid of that one. Okay. Okay, peace offer between some people. I don't really care for it. So we'll just kind of ignore it. Let's go ahead and get these upgrades. Wonderful. You go ahead and continue exploring that over there. I am interested in that trinary system there, which I assume is connected to this wormhole. Let's see, who was this between? That was between... Okay. The two powers up here. That's whatever. We can ignore that.
System survey complete.
Where's this one? Oh, you. Okay, wonderful. The team has made it into the ruins and have found it to be quite safe. Several small artifacts have so far been discovered along the route the expeditionary team has taken. Trinkets, tools, but also small electronic devices. A cursory analysis reveals them to be over 100,000 years old. The supplies of the team are running low, so they are returning to base camp. Meanwhile, a secondary expedition team is heading out. Excellent find. You continue on, my friend.
Construction complete. System
another
survey
one,
complete.
also finished. The one in Grunier. When attempting to extract an item of interest from a pile of assorted bric-a-brac, Elron Wind Elwer accidentally set in motion a junk avalanche. Buried underneath it, we discovered the sooty remains of a tiny rat-like creature cradling a bottle of stomach wash from a brand common on Jesura, as if shielding it from harm. Among the clutter there was also a tiny chest with precious alien artifacts from distant corners of the galaxy. Excellent. You continue. Struggling to survey there, that's fine. Reminds us we need to go ahead and colonize Grunier at some point. Or Grunier Prime, rather, although...
Construction complete.
We still have to do our exploration there, apparently, so yeah. It's gonna be a little while.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
There we go, there's the habitability. Let's go for the... Do I want to go for the cryogenics? Or the better... cyto-revitalization servers. I don't know why the hell I was thinking cryogenics. I think it's just because I saw the CY and I immediately just went to cryogenics for whatever reason. Again, that requires exotic gases that we struggle with. Though it is still useful, so it might be worth it. And I can just import more if I need it, really. Yeah, screw it. We'll just import exotic gases if need be. How expensive can they be? 10 per unit. So, not that bad, really. Buy alloys first. No, game, pause real quick. Buy a bunch of alloys, sell the excess food, because food is actually worth quite a bit more than minerals for some reason. I'm not sure why. It is admittedly a little bit weird to me. And let's go for the upkeep cost because that is kind of hurting us. Okay, what the hell are we tracking that is putting so much stuff there? Also, go ahead and investigate the Epsilon Menace, whatever the hell those are. Get that out of our way.
Special project complete.
Those are the void clouds. Okay, wonderful. Go ahead and spend 3 months telling me what you can about void clouds.
Construction complete.
Wonderful, you continue up there. You have apparently grown just strong enough to be able to declare me as a rival, and thus I can also declare you as a rival. That probably won't last long, but I'll take advantage of any little bit of extra influence I can. Even if it's only for a bit. More damage against void clouds is not particularly useful, so let's go for the plus 10% to physics research from jobs. Because there's nothing wrong with a bunch of extra physics research. That gets us bigger and better energy weapons.
Construction complete.
Or rather, it gets them a little bit faster. Is your planet worth invading? It's a Gaia world, size 14, so not really. It's a little on the small side.
Construction complete.
But it is a Gaia
System
world.
survey complete.
And you have moat holes, and yeah, you know what, actually, your planet is kind of worth invading. Don't bomb them right now, and I'm gonna cancel your thing, just don't bother with the observation post. Yeah, I hate to break it to you guys, but if you have rare crystals and volatile moats, yeah, you're kind of worth invading, I'm afraid. It's just kind of your bad luck
complete.
that you ended up being worth invading. Comfort of the Fallen has passed, whatever that was again, I don't recall. Oh yes, okay, that's that thing. That's fine with me. Next up is the Readied Shield, which is extra naval capacity, which we don't really need right now. I'm not big on the ship upkeep costs, although we can live through it. And it probably hurts the AI a lot more than it hurts us, realistically. Would I want to maybe go ahead and force a vote on... Well, actually, I can force the vote on Charter of Worker Rights if I just temporarily oppose, or actually even abstain from the Readied Shield. I don't need to oppose it to get what I want. That probably hurts the AI more as well. That is useful, and honestly, the habitability is not that bad. Minus 5% habitability is very quickly cancelled out by just any of these techs. And there's quite a few of them. So we can live with that. Anything else I maybe want to swap around? Not really. Don't really have the votes, sadly, on for the Taiyaki pest control. People really want to conserve the Taiyaki. I could force a vote on this. Thing is, I don't know if it would pass. Because I don't know if any of these other guys would abstain. Because the only person who's voting alongside me is the Bosagish Empire. And the game doesn't tell me anybody who's opposing to it, so I don't know. I don't really want to waste my emergency measure on something that's unlikely to pass. If I'm gonna use it, I would use it for something like decreasing the council size, which currently has weak support. The only one who's likely to support it is the Skrek Coalition, who's of course the number 2, so that's not too surprising. But I don't think the two of us together would be able to outvote anybody else, at least right now. Give it a little bit, and I think we could.
The spirits
Mostly
have
because of
granted
me,
us
of
new
course.
wisdom.
Let's be completely honest here. It's because of me that we would likely be able to do that, but nonetheless. Yeah, go ahead and get the bonus to survey speed. That's useful. And that has a
The
bunch
spirits
more
have granted
rare
us new
crystals.
wisdom.
There's more pop growth. Yeah, get the society.
System survey complete.
And there's my timer. We'll let this run for just a little bit longer.
System survey complete.
See, Grenier 3, the expedition team found a safe spot, yada yada yada. Excellent. Wonderful, you finished here. I'm gonna have you build me... Can I not build it on habitats? Because it just says planet limit. You know, I'm kind of getting the feeling the game lies to me about the Arcane Institute. It says it's a planet limit, not an empire limit. But I'm not seeing the option available anywhere else now. So like I said, I think the game's lying to me. I really do. Upgrade that thing real quick if you don't mind, and yeah, give me a Psycorps there. Replace that with a Psycorps as well. Same here. And again, I want to try and move those pops over to other planets. But it's a bit of a slow process. No, don't bother with that right now. Okay, but the Research Institute is not. Yeah, so again, yeah, game's lying to me about the Arcane Institute. It says it's a planetary limit, but I don't seem to be able to build it anywhere else. So it's evidently not actually a planetary limit. It is actually an empire limit, but the information there is wrong, it would seem. Because if it was an option to build, it would still show up on other planets. So, yeah. Wrong information there. Oh well, I can't really do anything about that. Syndicate quarters. Not really interested in that. I don't actually have a ton of volatile motes right now, so let's not do that. What do I want to give you guys? Because I don't really have a lot I could build here. I guess you have a number of free jobs right now, so I can just kind of hold off for a bit. Until maybe something better comes along. Get you guys a temple, since you don't apparently have one yet. Same here, you guys need a temple. So let's replace your thing there, give you a slave processing facility, and give you a temple. You guys have a temple. Anything else I can build here that might be useful for you? Not really. I think we'll end this part once we very quickly invade this primitive world. I think would be a decent place to end the part.
Complete.
And next part, I think we will end up going to war with the Pajalukmite Empire there to take their stuff. So reverse engineer, and that gives us advanced food processing for that's worth absolutely nothing. At least nothing worth writing home about. Well, Maybe we'll let it go a little bit longer. We're so close to getting advanced habitats. Yep, go ahead, bomb the planet into oblivion. Well, not really oblivion. In fact, they actually don't have any military at all, so just go ahead and land the army.
Our champions are making planetfall. May the spirits protect them.
This is fine. I just need to find some spare primary species that I can kinda ship off world. I think that's gonna be a little bit hard to do. There we go. Grow my primary species, thank you. Upgrade that. Give them a stronghold and moat harvesting trap. And declare martial law.
Construction complete.
That should help deal with any potential issues for
The
the duration of the
granted
stellar
us new
culture shock.
wisdom.
Better hyperdrive sounds like a wonderful invention. Thank you, game. Sell the
System
excess
survey
minerals. Let's see. It appears that the passageway descending toward the underground chamber has suffered some mishap. In the past, the cave-in has filled the lower part of the shaft with boulders and dust, in turn making the excavation venture slow and frustrating. Keep digging! Don't worry guys, you live for quite a while, so there's no real rush. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just wait out for the advanced habitats. Why not?
System survey complete.
Out of curiosity, what do your guys' do? You're pacifists and spiritualists, so I like the spiritualists, not too big on the big pacifist, nor the militarist thing, or not militarist, the materialist thing. You're slow breeders, you're sedentary, you are extremely adaptive, which is potentially useful, although you also have Gaia world preference, which means you have absolutely zero habitability on any other planet, except Gaia world. So you're going to have a bit of a hard time living anywhere else. That's fine. We can deal with that. Okay. I assume you're complaining about my whole going and invading a primitive. The only thing I can think of for you talking about wanton abuse. But that's fine. It's not a big deal. Sell a bunch of that excess food.
Construction complete.
Let's see. Our secondary expedition team has found a few tunnel systems and has discovered they lead to a well-preserved six-sided chamber, possibly leading into a bigger complex. The chamber has 5 other doors, but they appear to be locked. Tools and equipment are being brought in to assist in breaching the locked doors. Continue with caution. Did somebody else declare me as a rival? No. I swear I declared you as a rival game. Why the hell did it disappear? And I assume I still can't declare anybody else as a rival. Yep. This is the problem that happens when you become too big and powerful, particularly in the early game. So it looks like we may have to up the difficulty even further for the next series, potentially. Because while we struggled a little bit at the start, we were fairly quickly able to overpower them.
Construction complete.
Once we did that initial conquest.
Complete.
Which, again, I already knew was going to be the case based off some test runs I had done off those earlier saves, but still.
Complete.
I kind of hoped the AI would do a bit of a better job of being able to catch up later, but they can't. I mean, I can kind of understand the Pyjalkamite Empire not being able to because they're locked off on both sides.
Survey complete.
One side by me and one side by the, what is that? The Aslagan Corporation? I've got no idea how the hell it's pronounced, but sure, we'll go with that. Although typically these guys used to make an alliance, or federation, but they've kind of failed to do that. Also, you only have a single planet? Oh my god, you're easy to conquer. I mean, I'll have to rebuild outposts in all these other spaces if I don't claim them, but you are such an easy conquest. It's just a shame I can't get to you right now. Because the Bosaigish Empire has blocked me off. Otherwise, I would be invading you. Here we go.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
There are our advanced habitats. And do I go for citadels, or do I go for battle cruisers, or colossal testing facilities, which gives me a macro engineering testing facility, which does the same thing as that, whatever it was, super collider thingamajig. The thing that gave us physics. The starter particle accelerator. But in this case, it gives us engineering. I think it gives us the same amount, in fact. Battle cruisers does sound nice. And citadels would open us up towards the 3rd tier, because there are 3 tiers, correct? If I recall correctly, yes, there are 3 tiers. Now I just need to find them. I think they were towards the bottom when we looked previously. Orbital habitats. What was the name of that last tech out of curiosity? Habitat expansion. Where are you? It doesn't help that the game is apparently refusing to... Let's try this again. There we go. The game was refusing to load the damn UI. Or the icons, rather. So there's orbital habitats. You know, I kind of get the feeling the thing's actually kind of broken. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. Okay. That I kind of think it might have been broken. From combination of mods and patch updates, because I'm not seeing it. And I swear I saw the tech way back in the day. But now I don't. Because there's star fortresses, and there's for building orbital habitats. But there should be a tech in here for the upgrades, but I don't see it. So yes, I think this is all a little bit broken. At least this tech tree. As a result of a combination of mods and patches, and it probably wasn't even fully working, even if I was playing a completely unmodded game. If I'm gonna be honest, that wouldn't shock me. This is one of those interesting concepts that just doesn't quite work, is what I think happened here. Because I could have sworn I saw it in the past, but I don't see it now. Oh well, that's fine. nonetheless, so that's useful. That now we can build better habitats. And Citadel, I believe there's 3 tiers if I recall correctly, so Citadel is probably necessary to get to that final tier. So, let's see. No, I like that research speed as well from the Colossal Testing Facility, so that's what we're going to go with. And let's go ahead and upgrade our habitats. So this changes the size to 6, which, let's note, they already are. As a result of Voidborn expansion, giving us an additional 2. So presumably we should go to 8. But I don't think we did when I did a test run. I think we stayed at 6. Anyway, so I don't think we're going to get the bonus, although it will at least fix the glitchy model. That did at least get fixed in my test run after upgrading them to advanced habitats. So let's go ahead and get these last couple of things done. And that is going to be it for this part. I let this go ahead and run for a bit longer as well, so this is probably another almost hour-long part, same as the last part, just as a way of sort of trying to make up for all of the missed episodes. I don't guarantee that all of these parts will be close to an hour long, but a lot of them probably will end up being that way. But either way, that's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time, where we will likely be forcing the Pygelcomite Empire to become our vassals. Oh, here we go. We can see their fleet. I think that's their only fleet, considering that they are pathetic compared to me when it comes to fleet power. So I think that 10,444 is their primary fleet. That's the only big fleet they have. They do have this smaller 1,300, almost 1,400 fleet that we can just kind of ignore. Obviously, we're going to destroy it, but we can kind of ignore it either way. And that is comprised of an absolute metric ton of corvettes, with a handful of destroyers and a single cruiser mixed in here somewhere. I'm not even going to bother trying to find it, because holy crap, it is a mess. There, oh, there it is. You can't really see it because it's right in the sun. There we go. Yeah. If they keep that on this border, that's actually good for me, because then I can very quickly knock it out. I've actually got a metric ton of corvettes as well in my fleets, which will probably be significantly decreased as the game progresses. Also, now that I think about it, you know what? Let's go ahead and get those cruisers built. Well, maybe I won't build them right now, but I will add them to the fleet at least. I'm gonna go with 2 strike cruisers and 2 corvette or escort carriers. Yeah, that sounds fine. You know what? Actually, I will go ahead and queue those up. Otherwise, I would probably forget to do it next part. So I'll just override my save. Still not enough. Buy more alloys. There we go. You know what? That's fine. We'll make back all of that. All those energy credits we just spent a little bit later. Oh, and you already upgraded to a Star Fortress as well. Wonderful. So you go ahead and build all those extra shipyards. Let's get these things done now, because otherwise I'll completely forget about them all later. That gets me more volatile moats at a, what, 1:5 ratio for minerals. Is that better or worse than a planet? That is the same as a planet. but it is slightly cheaper on the upkeep. But you also don't get any of the bonuses from pop happiness and whatnot. Administrative office sounds nice, and now you can build that stasis chamber that we wanted previously. And let's see, Starbase Administration Office is not as good as I was originally hoping for. What do administrators do? Okay, those are those guys, yes. For some reason I was thinking administrators might have been something else. Yeah, I don't really care for any of the other ones. I could build large solar panel networks, but those aren't really worth the cost, I think. I will, however, build an emergency portal here for that. Plus 5% combat disengagement chance, so we hopefully lose fewer ships, although admittedly we don't lose very many anyway, but still, it doesn't hurt to lose less. And you need to be upgraded as well, so you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pay for you to get upgraded as well. So we're broke on alloys, but we make 120 a month, so it's not really going to hurt us. So, okay, that'll be the end of this part. Like I said, next part we will probably be declaring war on the Pygelcomite Empire and forcing them to become our vassal. We'll integrate them at a future date when we actually have some influence that we can spend. Although, I guess I could just take this upper part for now. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to do with the Pygelcomite Empire next part. It's possible I may actually just choose to annex this upper portion of their empire, because we actually do have a bit of spare influence right now, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll either conquer them or force them to become a vassal. Either way, it doesn't really matter. That'll make our militarist faction happy, which they are a little bit upset. I mean, they're happy nonetheless. They're above average on happiness. But they could stand to be a little bit happier if we conquered our neighbors or forced our neighbors to become our vassal or whatever the case may be. The Egalitarians actually have a supporter. So they got to 5 at one point back in the day, but they've long since dropped down to a single supporter on Agrolus. And the pacifists, or the xenophiles rather, actually have a half-decent following. It's slightly larger than the militarist, although a lot of our pops are supporters of the spiritualist and xenophobe factions. Let's see. Also, declaring war will make our xenophobe faction happier, so that's also a nice little bonus. So yeah, next part we'll be going to war with our neighbor. I don't know what we'll take, or how we'll fight the war, what we'll fight it for rather. But yeah, we'll be going to war with our neighbor definitely next part is the plan, unless something comes up that forces me to change the plan. But quick reminder, down in the description below is a link to my Discord as well as my Patreon. I highly recommend joining the Discord just to stay updated on channel happenings. That is where I always post. Sometimes I'll remember to post on my YouTube community page, but that's not particularly often that I remember to do that. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, the best way to help support it is to go and become a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you get early access to all of my videos, so that helps the channel out over time, especially if more and more people do it. That'll allow me to cover the cost of buying games, upgrading my computer that I use for recording this footage down the line. That's not something that happens particularly often, because I do build my computer, as I said last part, to last me 3-5 years at a minimum. So typically I don't have as big of an issue for upgrades. So yes, but it also allows me to go ahead and cover the cost of buying or upgrading my software and things like that, because I do use Vegas Pro for rendering the videos, and while that doesn't need to get upgraded every year, sometimes they add features that are actually potentially beneficial to me, so I would kind of like to be able to get those, but it's a little on the pricey side, especially for me who doesn't really need it all the time to upgrade. Like I said, it's just some years it's beneficial, but kind of hard to justify the cost, especially since the channel actually makes no money right now because it's not a part of the YouTube Partner Program. So the only money the channel gets is from Patreon and any affiliate link purchases, which you can also find some of those down in the description below. But until next time, a goodbye and farewell.